Today I want to talk to you about appreciation and how important it is to show appreciation and how detrimental it can be if you don't show appreciation. I'm going to give you some real world examples of both, but let me first start by saying that artists, it is essential that you show appreciation for anything that anyone does to help you. Young professionals, you need to show appreciation for anything that anyone does to help you. I don't care how small it is, because it all adds up. And on top of it adding up, people who are helping you pay attention to whether or not you seem appreciative and whether or not you actually show appreciation. And they make a decision quietly as to whether they want to continue to help you, refer you to other people for their help, or let you be. So when I talk about sometimes you don't even know when doors shut, that's what I mean. People are powerful, but they can be quietly powerful. They can shut doors and you never even knew that door was a potential to be open, but it's an opportunity you're not going to get. So it's so important to show appreciation, because if you do, doors will continue to open for you left and right. So first, let me talk to you about the golden ticket. I refer to great days in your career, whether you're an artist or a young professional, as a Disneyland day. So when you have a great day, something really big happens, you get a great opportunity, or somebody really cool recognizes you and gives you, some accolade, that's a Disneyland day. For an artist, that might look like the opportunity to hop on stage with another artist that you really admire. It's a Disneyland day. For a young professional, that could be lunch with someone who gives you a ton of advice that you respect, who has a lot of clout in the industry. That's a Disneyland day. Those are golden opportunities, essentially. So I refer to the golden ticket and Disneyland days because when you go to Disneyland, there is nothing worse than waiting in line. Nobody wants to wait in line. Everybody wants to jump the line, get to the front, ride the ride as many times as possible. And if someone hands you a golden ticket that allows you to do that, you would think you're going to hang on to that ticket and you're going to be so appreciative of that ticket. You're going to honor that ticket, respect that ticket, hang on to it for dear life, and protect it. And then when you are done riding all the rides and you don't need the ticket anymore because you've gotten to a point where you can now get to the front of the line on your own, you want to give the ticket to the next person that deserves it. So that's the golden ticket example. Artist, when you are given an opportunity, that could be an opportunity to, like I said, get on stage with someone. Let's focus on that one for a minute. You hop on stage, it's like an opportunity of a lifetime. Maybe this is you're a young local regional artist, and maybe this is someone who's pushed past that, but they're originally from your hometown and they're playing in your hometown and they know about you and they say, hey, why don't you come out, jump on stage with me, do a song, I'd love to have you, I'd love to give you the chance. Okay, Disneyland day, and they just handed you a golden ticket. Here's what you want to do. Not only do you want to do the obvious, which is be prepared and get on stage and give it your best, your all, go above and beyond, knock everybody's socks off. You want to make sure that that artist knows how appreciative you are and that you didn't expect it. So you need to be gracious, of course. This is where your manners really come into play. But what you want to do is you want to get up there, you want to give it your all, because you don't know who's in that audience. Doesn't matter if you're not in an entertainment town. Maybe your town isn't crawling with agents and managers and label executives looking for new talent. Maybe you're just in some random town in America, or anywhere in the world for that matter, but you never know who's in the audience. And somebody could be in that audience who sees you and sees something special and realizes, I need to alert my friend who works in the music industry. I need to let them know about this person. They need to check them out. Now, you'll never know that person was in the audience to begin with. You'll never know who that person was unless they come up to you and approach you. But that is another golden ticket that could be sitting out there that you had no idea about. Now, on the flip side of that, if you just get up and you ho-hum your way through it and you don't really take it seriously and you look at it more as like, I'm just hopping up here to have a good time and be cool, then that very same person may just not be that impressed and not even think twice about you. So you've missed that golden opportunity, so to speak. You also want to make sure that you reciprocate if you're an artist. If somebody continuously is helping you, any chance you get to help them, you need to. So let's say this same, regional or maybe just beyond regional, regionally successful artist has let you hop on stage a time or two. You need to let them know that not only do you appreciate it, but if there's anything you can ever do for them, like if they ever need you to sit in on a session for free, you're happy to do it. If you can help them on social media, help promote their next project, offer that. Show that you really appreciate the ticket they gave you. If you're a young professional, same idea here. When you get the opportunity to have time, and I don't care if that's 5 minutes, 50 minutes, a day, doesn't matter. When you have time with someone who has paid their dues, been in this industry for years, has earned a great reputation, has some power and clout, if they're going to take some time with you, and again, I don't care if it's 5 minutes standing in the hallway of a conference or an entire hour for lunch, you need to follow up immediately with a very, very personal thank you. You need to stay on their radar. You need to show them that you took their advice to heart, whatever that advice was. You need to make them proud that they even took the 5 minutes or the hour or whatever it was to give to you, because their time is extremely valuable and it's not available to everyone. So it doesn't really matter how you got that time with them. Maybe you walked right up to them at a conference and stuck out your hand and introduced yourself, and they were gracious enough to talk with you for 5 minutes. Good for you. If they were brought to you by someone else, for instance, you knew someone who said, let me make a phone call, let me see if I can set up a lunch for you, and you get that opportunity to go to lunch with somebody like that, by all means, you need to thank them profusely. You need to follow up with a formal thank you. And if you are ever given the opportunity, or if someone ever takes the time and effort to refer you for a job, whether that's an internship or an actual paid position, you need to not only thank them, which is the obvious, you need to honor them. You need to honor them by knocking it out of the park, because what they've done when they've referred you is they have taken their years of experience, their years of building relationships, their years of gaining the respect of their colleagues. They've taken all that and they have put it in you. They have basically said, okay, you're worth it and I think you're worthy, so I'm going to take all this that I've worked so hard for and I'm going to put all this on you. I'm going to place my bet on you. And I'm going to let the world know I'm placing my bet on you. So when they say, when I say let the world know, that could be one person or 10 people. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make it known that I'm vouching for you and that I believe in you. If you do not live up to it, then you have dishonored them. You have taken the golden ticket that they gave you and you have basically torn it up. You threw it in the trash. You stuck it in a drawer and forgot about it, but you didn't honor it. So if you don't show appreciation, that's what it feels like to the person who was helping you. It feels like you tore the ticket up in front of my face. So now, not only are they not going to help you anymore, they might not help the next person, or they might not be so quick to. Because, once you get burned a time or two, you're a little gun shy and you are a little leery. Because for those of us who have cultivated relationships for many, many years, there is an unspoken level of trust that comes with that amongst each other, so we all kind of trust each other. We all know each other's reputation. We know the clout that each person has. And when we reach out on behalf of someone else, someone young who wants into this industry, and we say, hey, I think this guy or girl is really worth it, you're putting yourself on the line and you're putting your own reputation on the line for them. And if it falls by the wayside, or if it doesn't work out, it's embarrassing. It doesn't matter how successful we all are. We don't ever want to be taken advantage of or look like we were made to look like a fool, essentially. That, why would we even put our stock in this person? They obviously weren't worth it, right? So it's just so important to honor those people who are helping you. So that's the gist of the lesson. I'm going to go on now to a specific example that will make it very concrete for you. So if you have a few more minutes, keep watching. This will probably take another 5 minutes. But if you don't have time, that's the lesson. The lesson is not just saying thank you. That's easy. The lesson is honoring by showing up and giving 200%, no matter what your role is on the stage, behind the scenes, doesn't matter. You give 200%. You make sure that you made that person who went out on a limb for you or offered you that golden ticket super proud and so glad that they took that chance on you. So that's the lesson. Now here's an example. This is a real world example. It happened to me specifically. I have mentored many, many people. And I would say 95% of the time, I have been over the moon, so pleased, so proud of everyone I've mentored. And I am always happy to sit down with anyone. So I got a call one day from a friend of mine, and he said, listen, my boss's daughter really wants to work in country music after she graduates, and she has her eyes on a particular company in Nashville that she wants to work with, and they've got some intern positions available. So she'd love to intern with them this coming summer in hopes of getting a job the following year when she graduates. So would you please, he asked, would you please sit down with her? I said, sure, no problem, happy to. Okay, so he asked a favor of me, which perfectly happy to oblige. So I sat down with the girl, and we'll call her Jane. Jane was lovely, delightful, a go-getter, so I thought. She seemed authentic. I really liked her. And we had a little lunch, a sandwich. I bought the sandwich for her, happy to do that. And I told her when we left, listen, I want you to send me your resume, and I will forward it on to the company you want to work at or intern at, and we'll see what we can do. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. I've got friends there. So the next day, she sent me her resume, and 2 mistakes she made in this email that I don't want you to ever make. Number 1, she did not even bother to say anything like, thanks again for the time you took yesterday to meet with me, or thank you so much for having lunch with me, or thank you so much for buying my lunch. Don't care about the $10 I spent, but when someone buys you lunch or buys you anything, you should say thank you. But the point is, my time was valuable, and I sat there for over an hour with her, and she didn't even bother to address it or acknowledge it. So that was a little bit of a red flag. And I thought, well, she doesn't have the greatest manners. I'm a little concerned. Then the second problem we had was her resume had 3 or 4 typos in it. And if you know me, and if you've ever worked with me or been around me, you know that typos are my pet peeve. And with a resume, there's just no excuse. The resume should be proofread 1,400 times before it ever goes out the door by 10 million different people. Get everybody you can to proofread your resume, okay? You can't proofread your own work. I am a good proofreader, but I can't proofread my own stuff accurately. So get it proofread. There's no excuse for the typos on the resume. Basics, okay? She sent it to me. I opened it up. I noticed the typos. Another point I want to make, if you are helping anyone, do not ever blindly forward on their resume. It'll make you look stupid. If I were to have forwarded that resume, basically what I'm saying is, hey, I put my stamp of approval on this. Here it is. Take a look at it. When the person on the other end opens it and sees typos, they're going to think, well, did Tiffany even open this resume? Has she ever read this resume? Because I don't think she would send it to me with typos. So it makes it look like I'm not really behind this person. I'm just literally hitting the forward button. So it loses some of its weight, some of its gravitas. So I sent it back to her and I pointed out the typos. She fixed them, and this time she did thank me for pointing out the typos. So at least she had that much, knowledge to thank me for that. And I forwarded it on to my friend at this company. Now, something else that's important to note is that before I just forwarded it to this person, I had to figure out who at this company do I want to send it to, because I knew a few people there, including the CEO. Now, this is not CEO worthy, okay? So you got to weigh everything and you got to figure out where am I going to ask a favor? Who am I going to ask the favor of? Does this particular favor warrant this level of person or a little bit lower level of person? What do I need? You need to kind of think of it strategically, because favors are not endless. And this whole industry is like a big game of chess. And I have a whole lesson on that, a whole lesson on politics, a whole lesson on favors. But the important thing for this lesson right now is that favors are not endless. So I had to make a decision. I was not going to send it to the CEO because it wasn't important enough, frankly. I was going to send it to my friend who's at in a mid-level management position, and I was going to ask her if she could just forward it on to the intern hiring team, just with a little bit of a, hey, maybe take a look at this one. She comes recommended. And that's all I expected. My friend got right back to me and said, absolutely, more than happy to. I'm going to go ahead and send it to the CEO's assistant. I said, well, wow, okay, thank you. You certainly are going above and beyond, and I didn't expect that, but I so appreciate it. She then emails Jane, the girl who wants the internship, okay, that I'm helping. She emails Jane and she copies me, and she lets her know that she's forwarded it on to the CEO's assistant, and she asked her a couple of follow-up questions, and I can't remember what those questions were, but they were pretty basic. And I thought, wow, this is great. She's probably as good as in. About a week goes by, and I realized I never saw a response from Jane. I don't know, did Jane get this email? Did Jane maybe reply and she took me off the thread? Maybe she forgot to hit reply all. So I reached out to Jane in an email and I said, hey, I just want to check in and follow up. How's it going? And I didn't hear back from her. So I called my friend who originally asked the favor of me. He then reached out to her and got back to me. And he said, I talked to Jane. She said she's so sorry. She's been on vacation with her family. I thought, okay, but she knows I'm in the middle of trying to get her this internship. Whether she saw that email from my friend at the company or not, wouldn't you be checking your email? I mean, in this day and age, nobody doesn't have their email on their phone. So I don't care if you're on vacation or not, maybe keep an eye out when this is kind of going on behind the scenes. So that told me she wasn't very savvy. And she wasn't really that interested in whether or not she was going to get an email or a phone call or any sort of follow-up from this company. So I started to have great concerns about this. And I started feeling uneasy about referring her. So I reached out to my friend at the company and I said, listen, this is a friend of a friend. I was doing a favor and I'm not sure where this lies internally on your end, but I'm just going to let you know that I don't think you need to waste any more time. I don't think that you need to worry about making sure the right people see this resume any more than you already have. If who's seen it so far likes it and they want to reach out to her, great. If she gets it, great. But I don't think she gets it, is what I said. I just don't think she gets it. I don't think she gets the opportunity that's being handed to her right now. So there might be other people who are more deserving of it and who will actually perform better, because I'm not impressed now with her lack of follow-up, her lack of communication skills, her inability to show appreciation. So you do whatever you feels right, but I'm just letting you know that I don't expect one more thing from you, and I'm so appreciative and I am so sorry and I'm embarrassed that she's kind of dropped the ball like this. And my friend totally got it and was totally gracious. She said, okay, no problem, I get it. And about a week later, I did get an email from Jane, and it was completely nonchalant. There was no, I'm so sorry, I've been out of town and I had no access to email because we were on the other side of the earth and I don't know, we went to Antarctica, whatever it was. I don't know where they were, but I'm pretty sure she had access to her email. So it was just kind of a, hey, Tiffany, I'm just checking in. I was on vacation and I saw the email from your friend and I wrote her back and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's been like 2 weeks now. So I read that and I thought, girl, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You don't get that I handed you the golden ticket. You don't get that my friend handed you the golden ticket. You don't get that your boss's employee, my friend, handed you the golden ticket. You just didn't get it. You just kind of dropped it on the sidewalk. So I never responded to her. I don't know what happened to her. I'm pretty certain she didn't get that internship. And the thing is that even if she wouldn't have gotten the internship there, because, you know, there's a million reasons why you may not get something, I would have been more than happy to continue trying to find her a great spot. I'm sure she had a choice number 2 and 3 and 4, but we never got to that. I would have gladly made sure she found a position in Nashville for interning, I would have followed her through for the next year until she graduated. I would have been an advocate for her, as I have been for many people. But she didn't show appreciation. She tore up the ticket. So those doors shut. And I doubt she even realizes it. I'm sure she didn't even have the wherewithal to realize that there was all this potential sitting right in front of her. She just dropped the ticket. So that's the story. And that applies. If you're a young professional, certainly you can get it. It's very, very directed at young professionals. But even if you're an artist, same idea. Don't drop the ticket. Make sure you honor the ticket, okay? Take care of it. If you do that, you will have so many doors opening for you left and right that you'll breeze through this. It's night and day. You need those tickets. You need people to open those doors. Doesn't matter how talented you are. Doesn't matter how much drive you have. You need the doors to be open for you. So, honor everyone that helps you. Show appreciation.